Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
Your suffering will be legendary, even in hell.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
They're here.
Welcome back to our first Halloween show of the year.
Ooh, we're getting it after it hard tonight. We are going for the hard R tonight.
We are. So quick heads up before we do this. This is going to be our first ever, and only foreseeable one in the future, fully explicit show. I know some people listen with their kids around, so if you have kids, I don't know, turn this off. Or be a bad parent, I don't really care.
Stop being a bad parent. You're exposing your child to worldly things.
Stop exposing me to children.
Stop exposing yourself to children and you'll be doing just fine, Zach. That's the kind of show you're in for tonight. This evening, this morning, it's nighttime. So a little background as to why this is... By the way, it's like I haven't seen you in a while, although it was really only like 3 days from our last episode. We're recording the show a little early this week for a couple of reasons.
No news, no letters, and we're going to be drunk by the end of this.
Yeah, so here's how this is going to go, apparently. So we have this book called Everybody's Dead, and there's a drinking game, and there's a dog here tonight on the show.
Yeah, there. No more rattle.
So I just want to point out, last time we did something totally off the cuff from the show. It was polarizing, to say the least, with the listeners.
But I still hear about it on a regular basis, so it was memorably terrible.
Yes, hopefully this is not memorably terrible. It's just memorable.
Yeah, so what we're doing today, we're going to be reading Everybody's Dead. Instead of doing our general recap, we're going to be telling you a full spooky tale.
Yes, we are.
This book is unfortunately out of print. You can find it online, but you can't get it new anymore. It's something that this graphic novel comes equipped with. It's the only book I know that does this. I'm sure there's others, but it's the only one I know of. This one comes equipped with its own drinking game built in.
Yeah, it's like that's the home version for the kids.
So grab yourselves a 6-pack, sit down. This is written by Brian Lynch with art by Dave Crosland. We're going to go through this panel by panel. Not like, whatever.
I'm going to read word for word.
You'll see, yeah.
Well, they won't see it. They'll hear it.
It's story time, bitches. All right, you want to give them the rules of the drinking game?
Right. So what you'll need is this book. Well, we have that for you. And as Zach said, it's out of print, but you can find digital copies.
I don't know if it's digital, but you can find it like on Amazon.
Yeah, you can find it through various platforms. A 6-pack of beer or your favorite wine cooler. I have some Coors Light. Zach has Seagram's tonight.
No, I brought Halloween ale.
He has Seagram's.
Look at the beer. Halloween ale. I'm being appropriate.
If you spell Halloween Seagrams, Seagram's.
Got me some local brew.
He has some Zima.
Yeah.
And a ride home, which I have in the host of the other show.
Yeah.
If you're playing this at your local bookstore, apparently. Between each chapter, you'll need to have a glass of water. So that's also important. So, whenever someone says the word zombie, whenever someone talks about Beta Eta Delta House.
I said Beta
Eta Delta, whatever. Whenever Jack calls something Pegasus, every time Westerberg and Aurora argue, or whenever the paddle of truth is seen, you take a sip.
You take 2 sips when
a character in the book drinks, a panel goes red, or a character is eaten.
And you finish your drink
when someone chants the word Omega.
That's really what gets you in this book. It does come with a disclaimer. Warning, you must be 21 to play. IDW, Chris Rail, Brian Lynch, Dave Crosland, and anyone associated with this book do not take any kind of responsibility for your precious little body should you decide to play. This is quite clearly a joke, and we recommend that no one ever try this. Tough. I didn't take it jokingly. I took it literally. It's a waste of time and could lead to drunk dialing, drunk posting on your favorite WW board, or even beer goggling. In fact, a fun game might be to play the drinking game as per the rules stated below, but every time a red flag moment occurs, instead of drinking, you call a relative just to say you love them. It's fun, no one gets hurt, and it might mend some fences. Once bridges are burned in my world, they're burned forever, baby.
I'd like to point out, if you start to beer goggle me, this podcast is over immediately.
All right. Let's be responsible adults and get drunk.
Okay.
Oh, before we do.
What do you... Oh, you need to open up your Seagram 7. There you go. I already pre-poured my beverage.
I know. I was going to get cans because that would be a funnier noise on audio, but I couldn't get a can of anything I wanted, so instead...
I got cans of what I wanted.
You got cans of what no one wanted.
Please, there's plenty of people who would drink this.
They're bad people and they make bad choices.
My kind of people.
So we start our book off with a flyer saying that there's a Halloween party tonight. Guys pay $10, girls get in free. and girls in Halloween costumes get in double free.
Yes. I love the hours of the party. 10 p.m. to whenever, or 2 a.m., whichever happens first.
So we cut to two of our main characters, Mosby and Doug, who are sitting in their room in the frat. They're having an argument with each other about why Mosby even joined a frat in the first place. And he admits that he's there because he likes the house and there's lots of shelf space for all of his assorted toys, action figures, and dolls.
Yeah, you should bring up our guide. Zach was a top man on this and preloaded the rules of the game just so we don't lose track of it throughout the course of this game.
The party happens later that night. We see our man at the door, Jack, saying $10, don't touch anything, $10, don't touch anything, with a long line of people outside. Unfortunately, no one is actually drinking in this line. There's a bunch of people holding drinks, but we see people dressed up as sexy nurses, slutty stormtroopers, Jason Voorhees, and other assorted characters.
You got a Darth Vader kind of action going on there.
And Batman.
Oh, yeah, there is Batman. Discount Donatello is in here as well.
That seems like a good a time to stop as any. So far, we only have one sip. They mentioned the frat. They asked why Mosby was in the frat, so that's one sip.
Cheers.
I'd also recommend sipping liberally because when it says finish your drink, you might not want that much left in it. Our story continues within the frat. We see Jack, the man at the door, who's our local jock. He's with his girlfriend, Kristen. She's literally labeled Jack's girlfriend, Kristen. Sorority girl, not important, is the description.
Yeah, seems about right.
Jack's full name is Jack Campbell, named after legendary B-movie actor Bruce Campbell.
I'm a fan. The chin.
It's also why we have a Sam in here after Sam Raimi. Clearly there's some Evil Dead influence going on.
A little bit. A little Evil Dead, a little bit of Shaun of the Dead.
Kristen mentions to Jack that this is a good turnout for the worst fraternity on campus. Jack notes that they're not actually on campus, and that's why they can get away with having these ridiculous things.
That's drinking, isn't it? They're talking about the fraternity.
Yeah. The party's continuing. Doug, the guy from before, is carrying Nuck. He was passed out in the parking lot. He is our large and in charge alcoholic. He's probably a little hungover from the night before, and he's definitely high.
Good for him. He's living up the college life. He's enjoying himself.
Jack warns Doug that he needs to keep an eye out for not what Doug thinks terrorists, and instead they need to be on the lookout for Omegas. Turns out the Beta House took over for the Omegas after some bad stuff went down, and the Omegas are none too happy about it.
Well, when you lose your house, you're not very happy. The Omegas were kicked out of their house.
No. We see Swee.
He's the pledge.
He is the pledge. He's filling up a beer, but not quite drinking it, next to slutty Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, he's also very much making foam, and he's also like trying to like build himself up like, oh, I'm not really a pledge, I'm just dressed up as a pledge. Definitely trying to hook up with slutty Freddy Krueger. Guess what? Not gonna happen.
No. As he's hitting on this young lady, we see Sam yelling for the pledge. He's an alumni of the Beta House, and he is your average overweight 30-year-old something guy still trying to hang out with all of the cool kids. We see a bunch of people with drinks in hand, but still no one actively drinking, so it's not going to count for us. He does mention that he's thirsty and wants the pledge to fill up his drink for him.
So we're a little bit in, and there really hasn't been much occasion to drink yet.
And then we finally meet our main character, Westerberg. He's out meeting his ex-girlfriend, Aurora, in the middle of the woods. For some reason, her weird goth Marilyn Manson wannabe boyfriend is dropping her off, and she's going to go to a party at the Beta House. And she's bringing her ugly friend with her that no one likes, Greta.
Oh, Greta.
Everyone knows a Greta.
It's like Daphne. She looks like Daphne from, was it Daphne? Who was the one with the...
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Wait, no, it's Velma.
Velma, yeah, Velma. She looks like Velma.
Yeah, Aurora's the Daphne.
Yes, Aurora's the Daphne, and she has her Velma with her.
Aurora's boyfriend is none too happy about her going to the party, but he puts his jealousy aside and lets it happen.
Good for him.
From there, we go into the party itself with Westerberger and Aurora, and we see some people vomiting outside. We finally see Jack drinking. That's our first drinker drink. And the party continues until something happens. We'll get to that in a second. So what we have for this count is we have 3 sips. We saw someone drinking, and the frat was brought up twice in this spot, so 3 away.
All right.
There's going to be these fun, awkward pauses while we're drinking.
I kind of took my 3 drinks at once. You went drink, drink, drink.
I took it very literally. I was like, sip, sip, sip.
Well, I kind of went gulp, gulp, gulp. That counts, right?
Do what you want.
All right, cool.
You do you.
I am. I'm thirsty.
Right as Jack is about to go for another drink and getting us to do another sip, someone quickly slaps it away, trying to save us from this drinking game.
Oh, boo hiss on him.
And we meet Roy, leader of the Omegas. These guys are all massive. They all look like football players, and they are pissed. that this house has been taken over by these wimpier betas.
Typical, like, stock douchebaggy fraternity guys.
He even comes equipped with a goatee.
I had a goatee for a long time. Never in a fraternity. Really don't classify myself as a douchebag.
This reminds me of back in the day. This book is all about a college in New Jersey.
Yeah.
This book came out when a young boy was at a college in New Jersey.
Was his name Zach?
It was.
Wow. Did he do well in college?
Yeah.
Or did he just get by?
Technically both.
Fair enough.
So Roy refuses to pay the $10 admittance fee and shoves past Jack, with all of the Omegas falling into line and storming in. They all look nearly identical, with the exception of Roy, who's different, so we can actually tell him apart from everyone else.
Well, also his Omega jacket is different.
Because he's captain of the Omegas.
Yes, he is captain of the Omegas.
As they rush it, we see Doug, who thinks this is a call to arms for all of the betas to get together and throw them out, because Doug, as we learn, has some weird daddy issues with his military father.
Yes, we'll learn much about that and the shit.
As the Omegas rush their way in, our fat alumnist, Sam, is literally choking out the pledge, so drunk and heavy he doesn't realize that he is squeezing Squeeze Neck way too hard.
Like the life out of him.
Yeah. The Omegas come in, ruin drinking for everyone by stabbing their hand and rubbing the Omega symbol on top of the keg.
That's marking your territory in a graphic way. I do like that Sweet's like, oh, I hope they use marker, because why did they use marker? Because I don't have to wash that.
Our drink count for these few pages is nothing.
You, had me concerned that I was going to have,
You just wait a second.
irreparable harm to my liver.
Well, give it a few pages.
Okay.
We cut back to Westberger and Aurora. They're sitting on top of the roof of the fraternity, talking together. They left Greta alone, who is in the long line to the bathroom, as there is at any given party.
Well, there should be as well.
We see Greta, who's being super annoying to everyone in line. No one wants to talk to Greta. She's saying that she's had to pee all week, and by pee I mean cry. I had this death in the family. This party's pretty much for me to mourn. Do you dance? I dance all sorts of ways. It's super annoying. Westerberger tries to get Aurora drunk by offering her some cheap wine.
Oh, much like you're drinking tonight in your Seagram's wine cooler.
Yes, you're on top of me.
No, I'm not on top of you.
Or whatever.
I am not beer goggling yet.
Westerberger takes a swig of his wine that apparently smells like Stall Jolly Rancher.
So he's probably that's like Mad Dog 50.
And the party continues, with Doug going to find Mosby in his room alone on the laptop, saying that they need to go downstairs stat, because there are Omegas. Mosby refuses, sitting at his computer, while Doug, enraged, gets really weird with his strange military background. His dad said something along the lines of, "Son, sometimes someone brings shit to your door. Now, it might not be your shit, but if you don't deal with it, soon the whole house is going to smell just like shit." He was literally talking about shit, but if you approach this metaphorically, it fits the situation. What a weird literal story.
We didn't drink for the drinking.
I know, we're not there yet.
Oh, you're going to do it. Okay, I see what you're doing now.
Yeah. Downstairs, Roy and the other Omegas have pulled Jack outside. It looks like a fight is about to ensue, when all of a sudden, we'll get to that in a minute. So this drink counts. We only have 2 sips, as Jack was drinking his cheap wine. Enjoy your cheap beer.
I will. Thank you very much. I'm almost through my first beer.
Well, that's probably a good thing, because we start with some chanting on the next page.
Oh, yay! Chanting!
While Jack is being manhandled by Roy, he slugs him in the face, with Roy falling back. We then see our first chanting, "Omegas, Omegas, fall in, Omegas!" All the Omegas run outside. We see that Jack is drunk on top of the roof with Aurora, as she is finally partaking in some of the cheap wine.
Good job, Aurora.
Westerberger looks down to see some of the fight. So, finish your drink. Ugh. Grab yourself another.
Yep. That was delightfully refreshing.
Gross.
I'm just realizing this is probably not going to be the smartest thing I ever have with myself on the internet. It's probably could be a lot worse, I suppose. Oh, look at that pour.
It's an ugly yellow.
But no, look at there's the right amount of head on top. That is, to give you a visual, listener, if you've made it this far, I poured my second beverage into this glass, and it was perfect. The foamy head made it just to the top of the cup. Lots of golden amber underneath it. We're in good prime position for the continuance of our drinking festivities.
So a massive fight breaks out on the lawn. Westerberger jumps down off the roof to get into the middle of the fight, and it quickly becomes apparent that the fight is going poorly, as the Omegas are large in charge in beating up all of the drunk betas. But things turn on their head as Mosby appears out of nowhere with a gun.
Attaboy, Mosby. Remember, Mosby's the character who didn't want he wanted to lock the door to the room because
He didn't want his toys being
he didn't want his
touched.
toys being touched because drunk women can't have sex like a proper woman. That's what he says. It's a direct quote.
And Mosby is pointing the gun right in Roy's face. Roy tries to act tough, but Mosby's like, hey, I'm just defending myself. I don't really care what happens. He has a knife. He's trespassing. Legally, I'm in the clear. Roy doesn't call his bluff and decides that it's time for the Omegas to leave to fight again another day.
Which is interesting because it seems like the Omegas really wanted to be at the house for a specific reason, which we'll find out later on.
Yeah. The rest of the partygoers leave, and it's discovered that Mosby didn't actually have a gun. He has a transformer.
Is there anything they can't do?
It's Megatron used to turn into a big gun. He has a Megatron toy.
Good for him.
That's what it is. And in the course of those 2 pages, we have 2 instances of the frat being brought up. Amazingly enough, when they're fighting over frat territory, it comes up.
Is it one sip for the fraternity?
Yep, 1 sip that happened 2 times, so duo sips.
Yes. Really, I've determined that my role in the podcast tonight is you're reading this to me and I'm just drinking.
You're taking over the next issue.
Oh, okay.
I'm just setting a precedent,
Oh, as to how you want it done?
I guess. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, you have the list of when we drink, so.
Yeah. We go back inside the house to see that Westerberger is being patched up by Aurora. She thinks that he should go to the hospital, but he says that Jack checked him out and he's fine. Jack, who is also massively drunk and has no kind of medical experience.
Jack, who also has been in pre-med for, 6 years, and also pre-law. So he says he's been to school longer than most doctors go.
Yeah. Aurora decides to stay the night, not to, have sex, but just to watch over Westerberger to make sure he doesn't have a concussion and dies.
To observe him.
Yeah. In observing Aurora and Westerberger, Greta is sitting in the corner making a checklist.
Well, it's not really a checklist, but really she's observing him medically.
Yeah. Nighttime diary. Everyone is asleep at the house and everything seems fine, when out of nowhere, a green comet hits the ground.
Bum, bum, bum.
And what we see there is Nuck, the large alcoholic stoner who had passed out outside, has turned into a zombie. And in all that time, we only take 1 sip because we saw Westerberger and Aurora arguing about whether or not he should go to the hospital. End of issue 1. In between issues, water break.
Really, I'm going to have to urinate a lot tonight, I feel.
Probably.
Oh, real liberal with the water there, Chief.
Do you want some more?
No, I don't really. It's early.
We have a jug of water with us and a couple of novelty cups to drink out
So
of.
I'm drinking out of a stormtrooper's head tonight.
And I'm drinking out of a skull.
A crystal skull. Kingdom of the Crystal. Plastic crystal skull.
This is real plastic.
Yeah. That's some delicious water. All right, children. Gather around as we continue on with our story in Chapter 2. Everybody wakes up slowly and groggily as Doug looks outside and there's a giant crater, to which he says, "We throw the single greatest parties of all time ever." If I woke up outside of my house after a party and there was a crater, I'd be concerned as to what had happened.
One time I woke up after a party and some asshole left a bag of puke on my front step.
Anyway, moving on.
That was you.
Wasn't my puke.
Wasn't mine either.
Well, I wasn't going to take it in my car. Our boy, Doug, is walking around saying, "Wow, this is going to suck for the pledge to clean up." And inside of the back of the card, he sees somebody. It's Nook. And he's like, "Well, what's going on with Nook here?" Because obviously he thinks he's having sex in the back of a car. Wrong. It's a zombie cat.
Well, someone dressed as a cat who happens to be a zombie.
Yes. Which he calls a mutant cannibal cat creature. He's like, "Wait, it's Halloween. But wait a minute. You really are." Because in the back seat of the car, there's Dracula. Well, somebody dressed as Dracula with a car club and their entrails hanging out, having been eaten by this mutant cannibal cat creature. So things aren't good for Doug. And normally you would think, by the way, Doug, in context, and I don't want to I'm just going to put it out there. Doug is the token minority in the book.
Yeah, he is. I think that's 100% what it is.
He's the token minority, and you think the token minority is going to die first, and they make fun of it because it says Doug, as he's running away, has a flashback, well, maybe a vision, more importantly, of his gravestone saying, "Doug ran from gay cannibals." And he's like, "Hell, I am," and turns back around. I like this. "All right, you creepy motherfucker, let's do this. I meant creepy because you were eating people and you smell, not for the other thing." Good on him.
by this count, we have to take 4 sips. Well, we saw the cannibal show up. Or I said
Oh,
cannibal.
yes. Eating somebody.
Yeah, so someone was eating and a panel turned red. That's 2 sips for each one, so 4 sips in total.
Oh, boy. I get the heavy drinking.
Yeah, I told you.
Oh, boy. Business is picking up. Anyway, everybody wakes up, and we have Campbell with his girlfriend on the couch after a night of what we can assume was tantric crazy sex in their fraternity house.
Or they were drunk and just fell asleep.
That's probably more accurate. Sam sitting in a chair with a bra draped over in his fraternity underwear. It says BHA right down the front of it. Pledge Sui brings them their morning coffee. And outside, while this is all going on, there's a fight for his life as Sam is trying not to get eaten by the...
Doug.
Doug's trying not to be eaten. And is able to rip off the arm of the dead zombie vampire guy and grab the club, which he smacks across the cat's face, and then the cat's jaw falls off.
Which is effective.
Pretty straightforward.
Well, I mean, it's a good way to at least not have the bottom teeth bite you.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now you can only kind of like half chomp you. So, while inside drinking their morning coffee...
Doesn't count for drinking.
No, it doesn't count for drinking. Doug kicks the door open and throws in the body of this listless body of the zombie cat, and everyone's like, huh, what's that? And it so happens to be a mutant cannibal cat creature again. I like this. Jack's like, are you jackassing me?
Because my name is Jack.
Yes. So, Doug is trying to trick us into thinking he took down some sort of rabid puma man, says Jack. And he's like, he fucking tried to eat me. Everyone outside. Which probably is the worst place to go during all this. Because you know what's outside? The zombies. You know what's not outside? Not inside? The zombies.
Well, there is now because he pulled that cat person in with half a jaw.
That's true.
His entrails are getting everywhere.
Yeah,
we will have to clean this.
Swee's going to have a rough time of it. So they go outside and they find out that there are more zombies because the Dracula guy, he gets up. And Jack gets grabbed while in his fluffy blue robe by a zombie.
The cat is also not dead as his jaw was only knocked off and only half of his brain is gone.
Yes. Oh boy, here we go on this page. Let me just read to you the instances, because remember the word zombie is worth 1 sip. Are you ready? Ah, brothers, zombie at my feet. Zombie at my feet. That's 2, for those of you keeping track at home. Again, watch a damn movie. Puma zombie dude bit vampire dude. Now vampire dude is a zombie dude. We're up to 4. Permission to react to this undead zombie puma man, or up to 5. And let's see.
There's also 1 zombie mentioned on the page before.
So that's 6 sips.
Within 2 pages.
Yes.
Buckle up, kids. Yeah.
Excuse us. Meanwhile, discount Anthony Hopkins looking zombie guy comes crawling out of the car. And
a panel turns red
as Jack punches the zombie. That's a poor decision, really, to punch a zombie. But I guess it kind of works.
Because he punches his head off.
Well, no, he kind of cuts his head off with the door.
That's true. My mistake. He just punched his head and then he slams the door shut, decapitating the zombie.
Yes, which Sui is also apologizing for decapitating another zombie. And Jack says, well, that's all right, because I'm going to be in jail with you. So, we sip again for the red panel.
2 sips.
Oh, it's 2 sips for red panel?
Yep.
Oh, boy. Jack gives everyone wonderful advice on how to defeat a zombie. You sever the head. Also, he tells Sui that he has to bury the zombie, so dig a hole. That's really nice of him.
That's what you get for being a pledge.
Out and about in the real world, we have Westerberg and Aurora. They're just, meanwhile, out there. And it looks like they're arguing a little bit right now. Sorry, I don't have a car. I spent all my money on an amplifier. Oh, you play guitar right now. So they're having that kind of... Westerberg is kind of becoming existentialist and trying to learn how to play guitar to please the women. Maybe win back Aurora. Who knows? And, oh no, how clever is he? He takes her to the scene of the crime, their first date where they had egg cream and he had the free bread.
So for those keeping count, that's an argument, so 1 sip. This game is poison.
Yes, it is. So they continue to discuss the tenets of their budding relationship when it first started, when all of a sudden, surrounding them just so happens to be zombies.
Thankfully not named as such.
They're trying to determine what their first date was. Westerberg says, so when was our first date? When we first kissed or when we first played stick it in and move it around? Relax. It was a euphemism for sex.
I don't think this is an argument. I think this just counts as conversation.
They're all of a sudden surrounded by all these zombies. And there's some real interesting zombies. You got a guy with a bike helmet and a bike handle through his head. You have Chef Zombie. Let's see, what else do we have here for zombies? Really, those are the only two that really stand out. Zombie with some dreadlocks.
The rest of them are pretty dead.
Yeah, they're all pretty, well, they're pretty undead.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Pretty undead.
Semantics.
Yes. I do like some of the zombie chants that we get here coming up. The one about IKEA. That's kind of cool. Anyway, Westerberg is trying to fight off the zombies, but Aurora really seems to have a better handle on how all this works. So they start running away from these zombies. No drinks? No drinks.
No drinks yet.
No drinks. All right. Aurora is more than handling her own against these zombies as she also pulls out pepper spray, spraying it in the eyes of the undead. And it really does kind of work on them a little bit as their eyes start to bleed and fall outside of their head.
The zombies are asking for things like brains. And the sale at IKEA.
It's more like, sale at IKEA. If I were a zombie, I wouldn't sound like that. I'd try and sound more droney, I guess. Anyway.
Zombies don't care about your perceptions.
We have a mini argument. I would call it almost a mini argument where Aurora's like, well, I really wish that you had bought a car instead of the amp. However,
I don't think that counts as an argument.
No, much to their delight and saving, here comes a car just plowing through this horde of zombies, and they get in. Does this guy really have a name? Not really. But he has a tattoo.
For Karen.
For Karen, a heart with a dagger through it. Is this your father?
No, this guy somehow is actually balder than my father.
Yes. Just so happens to be that the guy driving is a zombie.
But he hasn't turned fully crazy yet. Well,
no.
He's kind of halfway there.
He's halfway there, but he explains what's going on. He says, Westerman's, you have an idea what's going on? Have idea. Blinding flash of light turned us dead and hungry. Sounds like me, probably later on tonight.
You won't be hungry. You'll be full of beer.
Yes, I will be.
Oh, he does have a name. We find out because he ate his wife and she had a matching tattoo for Karen. His name is Larry.
Oh, Larry.
Because he's still eating his wife's severed arm.
Because he's like, Westerman says, are you going to eat us? And he's like, relax, I'm not like that. I'm not going to eat you. Oh, you're a zombie with a heart of gold? No, I'm the zombie who ate his wife. She was still alive in the basement doing laundry. She was still alive when hunger subsided. For now, well, take advantage of the free ride. So meanwhile, back at the pledge, back at a Delta house, Beta Delta, whatever you want to say, Sweet is digging the hole, and he's really complaining.
About
hey,
being
Sweet.
a frat.
Hey, Sweet, come pledge Beta Eta Delta. Is pledging hard? Nah. Couple of drinking events, clean up after every day, dispose of corpses. Sounds great. So, Greta is half awake with something taped to her chest and is woken up by a resident nerd, Mosby. Mosby's asking about, have you seen Westerberg? Because they're having an emergency fraternity meeting downstairs. Also, did you hook up with him last night as official recording secretary? I have to make a note of it. Good for him. He's taking on full responsibility for his job in the fraternity, which by this fraternity only has, what did they say, 5 people in it?
Apparently.
So when Sui is no longer pledged, they're going to increase the numbers by 20%.
Yeah.
That's good math. That's good business model right there. He left a note. He walked Aurora home, and that's not good news. They meet downstairs, and
we see our first appearance of the Paddle of Truth.
The Paddle of Truth.
So, for these last couple of pages, we have 3 sips on page 42 for mentioning the word zombie twice, mentioning the frat once, and then on the next page we have 3 more sips, 2 for seeing the Paddle of Truth and 1 for somebody drinking, bringing us to 6 sips total, and that's basically going to
finish the drink.
Yeah. No two ways about it.
Time to reload.
I don't know if the 6-pack is going to last us.
It's probably better this way. Well, how many chapters are there? 4?
5.
So we're averaging a beer and a half a chapter.
We'll see what happens. The rules said we only needed a 6-pack.
Maybe we need to be less liberal with our drinking.
Yeah.
So inside we see the Paddle of Truth. And they're also talking about what should they do about this current situation when there's a knock at the door. And outside is Sui. And they ask him what's going on, and it's a good news, bad news situation. Good news is they found Brother Nook. Bad news is Nook's a zombie. So Sui.
Mm-hmm.
Sui.
Like the pirate.
Yes. No, that's Smee.
Yeah, whatever.
So Sui, as a pledge, must ask permission.
That was disgusting.
Yeah, sorry about that. I have another one. he asks for permission to behead Brother Nook. And while all this is happening, Sam, the alumni, just puts it all in a nutshell. This day is just getting better and better. Meanwhile, 2 miles away at the William Patterson University, ranked number 14 of all New Jersey state schools.
Yeah, baby. Jersey represent.
They are at the Hobart dorms, where, this zombie is, Mike, apparently is the name of the zombie, is eating his friend and is being asked, why are you doing this? When there's a pile of bodies surrounded by Omegas. And they make the official Omega corpse pile by taking someone's brain and making the Omega symbol on a wall. These Omegas are brutal.
They're not nice people.
No, they're not really. Here's your typical zombie pun. If we're going to keep our GPA up, we need more brain food.
Oh.
Hey-o!
At least he's a clever zombie.
Yes, we'll give him that. And then, oh, look at this. A big panel of Roy, the super zombie, as he stands on top of a pile of dead corpses, the people they've eaten, and he proclaims, I want that house.
Bringing us to the end of issue 2. So, since we last did our tally, we have the appearance of the Paddle of Truth for 1 sip, a sip for the word zombie, a sip for another appearance of the Paddle of Truth, 2 sips for someone being eaten, and 1 sip for that house being mentioned, meaning the frat, bringing us to a total of
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my goodness. Okay. 6 more.
Ugh.
End of the issue, water break.
Wow.
We're getting there.
Whew. Some good stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
That water really hits the spot.
Moving on.
I have a feeling this is going to be more of a volume issue than anything else.
Yeah, I agree. Issue 3 begins inside the Beta House where the meeting is still going on. It's noted that this day has been fucked from the get-go, Jack, and Jack acknowledges this. Everyone seems to have trouble dealing with the fact that they're fighting off real zombies, but they also have a concern that they need to go find Westerberger. Doug doesn't think splitting up is a great idea, probably because he is the token minority, and you know how it goes.
He's usually the first to go in these movies or books, but he's made it quite far, actually.
There's a concern about what to do with Nuck, and it's mentioned that he's in the basement. Sam, the alumni, is taking care of him. And by taking care of him, they're just getting him stoned. He is high in the basement, chained up, and seems to be enjoying television.
Good for the high zombie.
And they're watching Garden State, the most New Jersey of movies to watch.
Well, New Jersey is the Garden State.
Have you ever seen Garden State?
I have not.
It's overrated.
Okay, so you're saving me some time is what you're saying.
But a good soundtrack.
I like good soundtracks. Is it as good as Guardians of the Galaxy soundtracks?
No, it's mostly the Shins.
Okay. I appreciate your honesty and forthrightness.
Mosby has trouble believing this, but Jack acknowledges that it's just helping to mellow Nuck out.
Because a mellow zombie is better than an angry zombie, apparently.
Yeah, why not? We see Jack and Doug leave the front where we have a full splash page of Jack's Mustang named Pegasus 2. Doug asks why it's named this, and Jack says it's called Pegasus because this baby flies. It's called Pegasus 2 because my bicycle in junior high was my first Pegasus. These don't count as naming something twice.
But it counts as naming something once.
Oh yeah, so let's do our tally. We have, on one page, 3 sips for using the word zombie 3 separate times, 2 more sips for using the term zombie 2 more times, and then 2 sips for naming something Pegasus, bringing up to 7 sips.
Dear God. What are you doing to me?
You're like, oh, this is barely anything.
Well, that was 2 episodes ago, 2 chapters ago.
Yeah.
7?
7 down. The next one's a finish page anyway, so.
Oh, shit.
I know.
We're approaching critical mass.
Power forward. We cut back over to the Omegas, where Roy is giving them, I don't know, not an impassioned speech. I guess it's impassioned, it's just not very good.
Well, he's trying to rile them up. They're going to go try and take back their house. You know,
the zombies are eating a bunch of dogs, and he thinks
Yeah.
that the dogs are too low for them. They need to go eat and kill more people by going and taking over the Beta House.
Yes. Not to be confused
And-
with Betamax.
No. And he unfortunately does this by encouraging all of the zombies to chant the term Omega. You know what that means. Finish your drink.
All right.
No.
You know it's getting bad when you're starting to look forward and be like, wow, there's still quite a ways to go.
What's the water break?
A ways away.
Oh, yeah. All right, next one.
This could be one of the all-time worst decisions in the history of the show.
Probably. Happy Halloween, everyone.
This is most certainly a trick and not a treat. Although if you pace it out, it's five chapters. We're midway through chapter 3, and we're midway through our alcohol, so...
Yeah. So the story continues. Greta is talking to Jackson.
Boring. Skip to the part where we drank.
Let's pace this a little bit. Greta is talking to Kristen. They're trying to figure out what's going on here. And Kristen wants to leave the house. Jack's gone and she doesn't want to hang out with Greta.
Why not? Greta seems like a nice young lady.
Meanwhile, Larry has driven Westerberger and Aurora to a junkyard. While Larry is freaking out, he's upset that he killed his wife. I wasn't like this yesterday. I had a pulse. I had a life. I had a lady that I loved and that I never ate.
You weren't a zombie.
And Westerberger goes, were you always so melodramatic?
There's a really grotesque off-color joke to make there about Larry and his wife, but we're going to leave that one be.
And Larry just goes, how dare you? And he's starting to become more and more zombie-like as this continues. We see other zombies approaching as Larry finally goes full zombie, saying that he must eat, he must eat, he must eat, he must eat. Westerberger tries to fight back, but his ass is immediately kicked. As Larry sticks out his somehow foot-long tongue to lick Westerberg's face, he all of a sudden has a chainsaw shoved through his chest and ripped up in an upward direction, removing his arm, head, and most things else from his body.
That was good. Good, clean ripping.
We get a good low-angle shot of Aurora, real power kind of stance, and she is holding this chainsaw over Westerberger. This certainly wasn't influenced by Evil Dead at all.
No.
It was, side note, which is also fine. As more zombies approach, Larry mentions that he's not actually dead yet. Westerberger finds an axe saying that the head has to be severed from the spinal cord, which came out with the chainsaw. He tries to decapitate Larry, but he's really bad at it.
This is kind of funny right here, actually. It's one of the funnier sequences in the whole.
It takes multiple swings, and Aurora keeps on asking if he wants her to do it for him. He's determined that he will decapitate this man, and just keeps on going. We go back to the house, where of course they mention the fact that there is a frat there, and Swee is holding the paddle of truth.
Attaboy, Swee.
Mosby is trying to figure out why they survived.
It's the house, man.
Mosby points out that everyone inside the house was fine, while everyone outside seemed to be turned into a zombie, getting closer to the truth of the whole matter. That was a nice break. Fortunately for that page, we have 2 sips.
The paddle of truth.
And the frat was mentioned.
Is the paddle of truth 1 or 2? Reference the rules. I'm going to play.
Man, it's 3.
The
3 sips.
3 sips for the paddle of truth?
No, it's 2 for the paddle of truth, but they mentioned the house. Swee believes that this is a comet from outer space, but reveals to Mosby that it actually isn't. The outer shell of this meteor apparently is man-made. Metal. It's a bomb.
Which reminds me of the music video for All Nightmare Long by Metallica. See Metallica coming back into the show for a second week in a row, in which the Russians weaponize spores from the Tungsten event. Like, it was kind of a, never mind. But mostly they create zombies. So there you go.
Greta, being abandoned by Kristen...
Oh, Kristen.
Goes downstairs to try and find a car for Kristen to get out of there.
Smart.
Well, she's just trying to make friends. She falls down the stairs because the fat alumnist, Sam, grabs her ankle. She falls over.
Okay, it's not alumnist. He's not like a gymnast or a trapeze artist. Alumnist. There's no T in it.
It isn't my world.
You're drunk.
Only 3 in.
You're slurring your words.
It's just language. Bad with words.
You have an English major. You have a fucking English major and you're bad with words?
For writing, not for talking.
Okay, fair enough. 4 years of college for writing, that's it?
It's noted that Sam is in no condition to be driving his car as he is stoned and high.
Much like we will be later, minus the high.
Hell.
Wait, you said stoned and high. That's the same thing.
Stoned, high, gone, blitzed, berserkered, I don't know.
Wow.
He's really gone.
He's not in a condition to...
No.
Yes.
Greta tries to pick him up when she is confronted by Nuck, who is hungry because he's been really stoned. So it turns out making a zombie high is actually worse than a regular zombie.
Yeah, that's not very good.
He has the munchies. The people munchies.
And that's not going to really go well at all for...
Greta, who is now dead.
Yeah, Greta's dead. Greta's been eaten.
Nuck ate her. And then we go back to Larry, where Westerberger is still trying to sever the head from the neck. And this poor guy, I guess this poor zombie,
yeah,
is just getting destroyed.
I love what Westerberg says here. Can I read Westerberg's line from this?
Sure.
Keep it together, man. Totally not impressing the girl. With your lackluster zombie hacking abilities, she's looking for a 10. Stop being a charming 3. It's good life advice.
Stop being a charming 3.
Yeah, don't be a charming 3.
They also break out into a brief argument related to the murder of zombies.
Yes.
So, once again, let's do the count. We have 1 sip for use of the word zombie, 2 sips for someone being eaten, and another sip for the word zombie, and another sip for an argument.
That's 5.
That is 5. Dear God.
What have we done? You know what this is missing? This whole deal we're doing tonight? Some chips.
I was going to say chicken wings.
That also, yes.
It'd be appropriate to eat some flesh off the bone.
It would be appropriate to be eating flesh off the bone.
Westerberger turns to be confronted by 3 small children dressed up for Halloween who happen to be zombies. They say trick or treat, and instead of lopping off their heads, he gives them small pieces of flesh inside their assorted bags.
You know, that's awfully nice of him. Bribe them with human flesh.
At this junkyard, they get into a truck that conveniently has the keys inside of it right on the dash, and Aurora hopes that everyone in that frat is actually being smart for once.
She's really setting her standards unachievably high.
Westerberger gets defensive, saying that they have an average GPA of 4.2. They're smart guys. Immediately cutting over to Jack, who is pushing Pegasus 2 forward, yelling, "This is the smartest thing we've ever done," while breaking into a military facility while zombies are shooting guns at them, and they also have a tank.
So really not smart at all.
The two of them leap from the car right before the tank blows up Pegasus 2, while other zombies are running around shooting guns wildly, yelling America.
There's something to be gathered in that.
Nope. I think it's just they're in a military base.
There's something to be gathered about being in a military base.
Jack is upset, saying that how fucked up this is, because save for the zombies, that's exactly how Pegasus 1 went down.
So
The bike he had in junior high.
was blown up by an army tank.
Apparently.
What? Doesn't make any sense at all.
The two of them are freaking out as they're about to be eaten by zombies when all of a sudden there's a flurry of bullets. A panel turns red, and we see Doug's dad, who's also a zombie, is killing all of his fellow zombies. Alright.
Drink tally time.
Okay. So we have...
You sound so defeated right
I
now.
do already. Sip for use of the word zombie, another sip for Westerberger and Aurora arguing, another sip for zombie, another sip for arguing, 2 sips for calling something Pegasus, and another use of the term zombie, bringing us to a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Jeez, See, I think we're approaching this as best we can because we're not reading it panel for panel.
Yeah.
We're just kind of telling the tale.
And then also the page we're at 8, 9 because the panel turned red.
Oh, God.
So that's 9 more sips.
Dear Lord. What quantifies a sip?
Whenever I have the multiple ones, I do it like by a second count in my head. Almost like 1, 2, 3. That's just how I do it.
I count it in swallows. Ugh. I know that we're about on pace because we're about the same level of drink.
Goody.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if this is a game I'm looking to win.
Is there really anybody who does win?
As long as they don't puke, we're fine.
Is it sad that I want to, like, after I'm done, go buy another 6-pack and have a fire at my house?
Yes. Actively bad.
Okay, just checking.
Bad plan.
The fire or the 6-pack?
Possibly both, depending on how drunk you are.
6 beers isn't really that much.
We're doing it pretty quick.
We are.
The story continues back at the house where Westerberger and Aurora have arrived. They walk inside to see Roy run upstairs frantically.
Hey, Roy.
Freaking out because Greta's dead, and getting a zombie high, he notes, is a terrible idea.
Yes.
Nuck emerges from the basement, holding Greta's dead body in one hand, exclaiming that he's still hungry. Considering Greta's still mostly there, he could probably just continue to eat her. Roy freaks out, as we previously mentioned, for giving the zombie the munchies. Ending issue 3, 2 to go.
Oh, 2 to go.
So within that time, we have 2 sips for use of the word zombie twice. Ugh.
Oh, good Lord.
And now a water break.
I knew I should have brought over like some Doritos, some barbecue chips.
It's not part of the drinking game. It's not an eating game.
Well, no, you gotta listen. Don't be an amateur. You gotta have a little bit of food in there too to kind of give some ballast, absorb the toxins.
You ate mac and cheese right before this.
This probably really wasn't the best thing to eat before drinking. A cheesy, milky product.
Take it over, narrator.
All right. Well, welcome back. As we return to our heroes in action, Mosby's up on the roof of the house, and meanwhile there's some yelling and screaming down low as Aurora's not very happy with Westerberg.
You could say that they argue.
Yeah, your stupid brother ate a very nice girl. That's really not how you want to start your day.
No.
In any way, shape,
Doesn't
or
bode
form.
well for their relationship.
And he's trying to, in good fashion, saying, I'd like to try and make this right. Well, in the foreground, we see continued consumption of the young poor lady, Greta. She's dead. She's very much dead. So Aurora kind of loses it and puts an axe in Nook's head.
Effectively killing him.
I like this fraternity loyalty bullshit, keeping him around even after he turned. What, were you going to make him a fucking mascot?
I feel like he already was in his own way.
He kind of was. He's very much kind of an asshole here for eating Greta. Anyway, Nook continues to kind of be alive because the axe is in his head. He hasn't really been decapitated yet. Also, in this instance here, Westerberg is calling Aurora his betrothed, which she vehemently says, no, that's not the case at all.
An argument, if you will.
And now he's asking, why did we get the zombie high? Which is really a great question, as we've discussed several times prior to that. He's swinging around the keg and trying to choke out Nook with the keg.
With the hose.
With the hose of the keg, yes. And he's still very much hungry. And then they start putting beer into him. Oh, and they get him drunk. So that's great. First you get him stoned, then you get him drunk, and then Aurora, well, she finishes him off by swinging the axe through and cutting off his head. Smart.
In all fairness, he might not be hungry after the beer, because I know after drinking this much beer, I'm not that interested in food.
No, but we do have some drinking to do, don't we?
All right, let's rack them up. I missed one based when I was looking at it. So we have one sip for arguing, another sip for arguing, 2 sips for zombie. There was one I missed. What was it? Was it the panel going red?
Zombie. I think we had a panel go red. No panel went red, but he was still eating somebody.
She was already dead. Let's not count it. And then another sip for arguing, bringing us to 5 more sips.
Holy cow.
Okay, here we go.
Do you think this book was designed with this drinking game in mind?
No. What was I going to say?
Well, the drinking game is printed on the inside cover of the book.
Yeah, but that was only presented in...
Oh, we're good. It's foamy.
Cool.
That didn't sound good, did it?
No, don't puke in my studio.
I'm not going to puke. It's just in your studio. It's a fucking basement.
This is the only part of the house with carpeting.
Good point. Doesn't make it a studio.
That's what I call it.
My bedroom has carpeting at my house. Does that make it a studio?
No, that makes it a bedroom.
Okay. So how does this make... Okay, you have carpeting and then you have fancy studio foam. This is not a studio.
It's a recording studio.
Okay, is Kanye going to come down here and hit his next hit?
I don't think I've ever heard a Kanye West song. I've gone out of my way.
You've never heard a Kanye West song?
I don't believe I ever had.
How about some Jay-Z? Is Jay-Z going to come down here? He's on Saturday Night Live tonight.
I mean, I hope he does. I can tell about that time I bought the Grey album in the 90s.
Wow. Anyway, back to the action at hand. As Mosby's on the roof, Mosby, the resident geek of the story, is trying to save the day by connecting into the satellite dish. And they still have internet during the zombie apocalypse. Is that how much we still have left to drink?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Lord. So, side note on the podcast here, Zach has gone through already and listed out when we're supposed to drink.
We got a ways to go.
Anyway.
Keep reading.
I know, I'm excited. Mosby is on the roof, doing work, trying to tap into the internet for some reason, and trying to figure out what's going on. Meanwhile, downstairs, the fraternity girl here, that's Kristen.
Jack's girlfriend.
Jack's girlfriend / fraternity lady with star earrings and whatnot, blonde hair, is saying, well, I hear like the sound of chopping. And Mosby's like, oh, they're just chopping wood with passion. When in reality, it's Nook's head rolling on the floor. And one arm, FYI.
Greta then also turns into a zombie.
Oh, yeah, of course she would.
Where she's quickly decapitated by Aurora, who was kind of epic.
That didn't take long. Anyway, rolling out in the tow truck that they had stolen, Aurora gets in the tow truck and drives away, leaving Westerberg behind, saying that there's nobody worth dying for at the house and to not try and be a hero.
Some would call that an argument.
Yes, they would call that an argument. And, well, up on the rooftop...
click, click, click.
Click, click. Yes, it's not St. Nick. It's Jack's girlfriend saying, I disagree. I am most definitely worth dying for. Westerberg, very much upset, very much sad, and all of that. Anyway, Westerberg's like, I should probably go after her. And then, is it Kristen? Is that the girl's name? She's like, oh, that's a great idea, but can you drive me home? That's probably not a really good idea for her, as she's up on the roof trying to hold on to this rope that is keeping Mosby from falling off.
He's trying to push a satellite dish out as far as he can to try and reconnect to the internet.
Yes. Mosby's like, well, the problem is I'm using the zombie mobile battery for my super Wi-Fi experiment, and, well, Kristen's not having any of that. And down below, Mosby's like, well, the day started out really well. It really did. I don't know how the day started out well for any of them. They were probably all hungover, first of all. And the second of all, there's zombies everywhere.
Well, they didn't know about the zombies at first.
Fair enough. But the hangover certainly was not a good start to the day. So, meanwhile, there's a lot of dying and death elsewhere as the military zombies continue to shoot and fire and explode guns in a red panel.
Yeah, so one might call that a red panel. Let's just put a pin in it for right there based on what we have to do. We have one argument, 2 sips for the panel going red, and another 3 for use of the term zombie, bringing us to 6 more sips.
Oh, Lord. We can do this. We can do this.
Some would call us heroes for doing this.
There's nobody here worth dying for. Anyway.
Moving on.
So, back at the military base, where all hell is breaking loose, and we have Jack and Doug hiding behind a Humvee as Doug's father, zombie father, is just taking and shooting everything that he can get to. In fact, he channels his inner Mr. T as he says, enough jibber jabber, cover me. Good for him. Aren't I ready to go? Hell yes I am, rearing to go. So, it appears to be that Doug's dad is going to sacrifice himself to save his son and his douchebaggy friend Jack. In which Doug asks, well, can I cover you with my nunchuck? Where the hell did Doug get a nunchuck?
Carrying them, I assume?
Yes.
The term zombie is used once. Take a drink.
I'm taking subtle sips, knowing that you told me there's a finish coming up.
Real quick.
Okay.
Oh, boy, can we get through like 15 more sips? I say we can.
I don't know.
It's going to be like a drop left in there. Gonna call it a finish.
It's kind of a weak way out of it.
Hey, we planned ahead.
All right.
Continue.
So, Jack's father and him have a reckoning and a reconciling. The academy was for losers like that silky generalist, sir, because we've now found out that Doug went to military school. Here's the best part. I'm not afraid of guns, Campbell. Tell him about the gun bong I made. That's right, kids. There's a gun bong. It was in the early panels of this movie, and he admits to it. In fact, when I first opened the book a week ago when you gave it to me to read, and I never did because, well, I didn't, I was like, is that a gun turned into a bong? And you're like, yes. Yes, it is.
I'm sure it was just a bong shaped like a gun. Probably cost him a few hundo.
Yes. Jack proclaims that gun bong is something. We move back to life, and as just before Doug's dad is about to consume his son, he gets shot with a machine gun by Jack in his French Club shirt.
He's had that really the whole time.
Yes, but still, I just wanted to reiterate that's what he was wearing. Any drinks from those previous panels?
No. We're doing okay.
All right. Well, we keep moving forward, and Doug is kind of upset because, he killed his father.
Oh, no, I lied. Panel goes red. 2 drinks.
Oh, boy. We have another one coming up, as now Jack has named a new vehicle Pegasus 3.
Damn it, Jack.
Yes. Doug's still very upset, though, because, well, what's wrong with you? You just shot my dad in the head. To which Jack responds, well, he was a zombie. So that's good. And, well, guess what?
We have a few red pails in there. For this page alone, we have 7 assorted sips.
You know what? We just need to bite the bullet, take 7 real sips, and open up the next one.
Then finish immediately?
Oh, shit. Never mind, then.
Yeah, it's like in 3 pages.
What really is
I'll
a
cut
sip?
that out. No one will know. So that's 9 sips for 1 page.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
babysit.
Yes, pretty much. Meanwhile, back at the house, Mosby's up on the roof with now a mostly naked Kristen, whatever. You know what? I got the first part of her name right. That's got to count for something. So she's sunbathing, mostly nude on the roof, as Mosby really couldn't care less at this point. I don't know if he's being a good friend or he's just really that much of a nerd. Anyway, he almost gets connected when all of a sudden the connection fails. Upstairs, still on the roof, Mosby says, we need to find a hotspot, and Kristen says, stop hitting on me. That's a little joke there. I like it. However, we go back downstairs, and there's Sri with somehow a sword and the paddle of truth.
Damn that paddle, one sip.
Back inside the house, we see Westerberg wearing gloves and, cleaning. Not sure why he's cleaning, considering the terrible, awful things that are going on. And home maintenance probably should be the least of his concerns, as he's having a conversation with everyone's favorite resident alumnus. Not alumnatist. What were you saying? Alumnatist?
Yes, that's exactly what I said. Alumnatist.
It was.
I think he's some kind of magician.
Alumnist. You said alumnist.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite alumnus.
Alumni.
Sam. And Sam's telling him, well, what's going on here? And, there are a lot of zombies and a lot of F-bombs. There's a lot of drinking to be had.
Hey, we're not drinking for cursing. We're drinking one for the term zombie.
So, elsewhere, we find Aurora, who drives into some statue in front of a house in this nice tow truck that she's found.
Well, it's from the junkyard. That's the same one. She just took the truck.
Yes, no, I like it. It's good for her. So, we find her in this home.
Going to find her Marilyn Manson boyfriend.
Yes, in the basement lair. Only the evil survive. So she goes downstairs with her axe, and her friend Sandy is there, and her friends happen to be, alive. And not zombified in any way, shape, or form. Her boyfriend wearing a Marilyn Manson t-shirt and gothic black eyes, apparently. And eyeliner. Eyeliner, and a couple other friends. And they talk about how, they surviving and how they are and why they are. So, good for them.
How and why is that?
Good question. They're getting as far away from New Jersey as possible. And they were in the basement, which apparently protected them from the weaponized zombie bomb.
Yes, the zombie bomb. One sip.
Back on the roof, our boy Mosby has found a connection. And he's connected, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. He's like, twice I'm going to save the day in a 24-hour period. And he's getting reports in somehow digitally. And then all of a sudden, our poor guy, he falls off the roof.
And the connection is broken.
That sucks doubly. And really a fall that should have killed him or hurt him. But more importantly, he's being surrounded by members of Omega.
Yeah, damn Omegas.
Well, we're not quite where we need to do what we need to do yet. But they come outside with, the paddle of truth.
I'm not really worried about the paddle of truth because they start chanting Omegas, meaning that we need to finish our drink anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you want to take an extra sip for the paddle, but I'm just going to say finisher.
Oh, we didn't. Hold on.
They're empty. You toasted to nothing.
Well, that's what we are.
Moving on.
In this moment, it's time to... that's pretty much the end of the chapter. And our poor boy Mosby is in the arms of Roy, who's, out for brains.
Alright. Fill her up. We just could have lied this entire time and just had, two glasses clinking together and just be pouring water.
Are you regretting the decisions we've made tonight?
No. I kept it honest. I kept it real, except for that time when we really dragged it out so we wouldn't have to chug another one. Water time.
I think we could have made it happen. I think we could have done it without having to cheat, to be honest.
Listen to the rules. You get water.
Please fill my stormtrooper head up with water.
Drink through your decapitated head.
That's no Zoe stormtrooper.
Oh, yeah. And since we had to finish our drink, they both ate a person and mentioned the frat.
Wait, they ate Mosby, didn't they?
Yeah, Mosby's dead.
Oh, sucks to be Mosby.
You glossed over his death. Mosby's dead, and they mentioned the frat. 3 sips. Welcome to the final chapter. Chapter 5 continues.
Yes. Chapter 5 continues. It's just starting.
Chapter 5 continues on the New Jersey Parkway, where we have our assorted exits for trucks and no trucks. This is very accurate to New Jersey.
Oh, yeah, the hazmat lane and all that shit.
Oh, yeah, no, this is a Jersey driving here. Except, aside from all the assorted accidents, no one seems to be the worst. So that's a little bit unlike New Jersey driving.
Well, there can't be any accidents because most everyone's dead or dying.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, if you want to survive New Jersey traffic, do it during a zombie apocalypse.
I'm going to say if the apocalypse happened, the parkway would be full of cars and they wouldn't be able to drive anyway.
Yeah, probably. Well, can they drive in the first place in New Jersey?
It's a lot like driving in a river. You can't ever stop or slow down. You just have to go with the flow, the aggressive flow.
That sounds like fun, actually.
It's awful.
Sounds like fun.
I've lost the touch.
You don't have the ability to drive aggressively anymore?
I don't have the ability to drive New Jersey anymore.
I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Last time I went back, I lost it.
Oh, wow.
The time before that, I still had it, but, I'm not doing it every day anymore. I've lost the touch.
Why don't you just drive aggressively from your home to Hollowell every day? Just be that guy.
There's more stops. There's more abrupt stops. New Jersey, there's no stopping. You never stop. Never stop.
I think what you're doing is you're, taking the stops as, a hard no, as opposed to I don't know. You should probably just, put the pedal down. See what's up. Go for it.
On the New Jersey Turnpike, we see Aurora with her assorted friends, the boyfriend, and the other two assorted ones.
The other two assorted ones.
They're asking Aurora what they think that they should do. She mentions that she thinks they should stock up on weapons and try and find survivors, and also offhandedly mentions that she thinks she's still in love with Westerberger. A shocked look on her face, she then apologizes and asks if she could be dropped off at the nearest rest stop. They don't oblige this and just dump her on the side of the turnpike.
Wow, that's cold.
Aurora then picks up a bottle of wine, makes herself a knife with it, and works her way back into the heart of New Jersey.
As one would want to do.
I'm a big fan of Jersey.
Are you a fan of bottle knives?
No.
Okay.
We cut back to the house where the zombies are asking Kristen if she can come out and play.
Well, it's nice that they're asking.
Kristen hears the voice of her friend, who we've never met before, and her friend mentions that the entire school has gone Omega and they're all zombies. We go to the other side of the house where we see that Westerberger is being held by some Omega zombies and kicked in the gut by another. Roy has also found himself a saber that we previously saw Sui with.
I don't think he really found it so much as he ate Sui and took the saber. Or no, he didn't eat Sui, did he?
He killed Mosby.
Yeah, poor Mosby. R.I.P. Mosby. Because Sui has the paddle of truth.
Yeah. Roy asks, what's fucked up is how all this went down. Not the rotting and shit, that's a hassle. But I love to be able to eat the weak. Why do you think that is? Westerberger responds, homoerotic tendencies that pre-apocalypse could only manifest as homophobia.
Interesting.
Sounds like college.
There it is.
Trying to sound smart while doing a gay joke.
I have nothing to add to that. I'm just bracing myself for the last several pages of this book, knowing full well what probably lies ahead.
Roy shows his true rage at Westerberger by saying that he rejected the Omega's opportunity to pledge. Instead, he went to go be with those loser betas. As he's preparing to chop off Westerberger's head, the paddle of truth is seen.
Yay, paddle of truth!
Also, as mentioned, the frat is mentioned, bringing us to 3 sips for this page.
All right, here we go.
Unfortunately, as an assault is about to be mounted, Sui can hear the slight repeated phrases of the term Omega, not so far as I would say chanting. And while Sui is confused at how all these zombies made it inside, a recently bitten... Shut up.
Wow, look at you go.
A recently
He did it again.
Recently bitten Kristen.
A recently bitten.
Yeah, she's a bitch.
She's dead now. Or all undead.
Yeah, she apologizes, saying that she had to let all these zombies in as they were her sisters, as Kristen is a sorority girl.
Oh, look, sorority zombies.
And oh goody, there's that paddle of truth. House is mentioned, paddle shows up, 2 sips.
Being recently bitten.
Usually I just edit around that crap, but you're really making it difficult.
You can't edit around that because it highlights that you are, by the way, going total wuss on this.
I know how long I have to make this last.
Yeah, you're cheating.
I'm not cheating.
You are totally cheating. Go for broke, dude.
Moving on.
What page are we on?
98.
Oh, totally can make this happen.
Moving on to page 99, Sui, still with the paddle of truth, is fighting off zombies with Brother Sam.
Good job. Sam's made it a long way in this, by the way.
Sam then sacrifices himself to allow Sui to live, as Sam has lived a life of debauchery and is basically just drunk.
Oh, Sam. Sorry. So much for Sam making it a long way in this.
Sam mentions that he's a beta, and the rest of this dope in the beta house are his friends. Plus, he's so drunk that the zombie ladies look kind of hot, and that's somewhat perversely fun. So Sam is sacrificing himself so he can try and have sex with young zombies.
Zombie sex.
Like 18-year-old zombie sex. It's weird.
Well, he does hang out at fraternity parties, and he's in his late 30s.
He made a choice. And he dies.
He chose poorly.
They keep mentioning the word zombie. Welcome to page 99, where there are 6 assorted sips for use of the word zombie. The frat is mentioned, and the paddle of truth is seen. 6.
Get after it.
Going back to outside of the house, we see that Roy is still with his saber, really taking his time on this decapitation. Mentioning the frat once, as they are still planning to take over. Westerberger mentions that he went to the Omega Rush meeting as a joke, to make fun of you. I would rather go to a frat rush meeting and my hot arty girlfriend would go to the sorority rush meetings, and then we'd meet back and make fun of them. Omega provided the most material. I thank you for that. You specifically, actually, not gonna lie, Roy, went to the Beta Pledge meeting for the same reason. But they're cool. I mean, maybe not your definition of cool. Not most people's. Certainly not my hot arty girlfriend, who just left me because I joined them.
Arty, not already.
I don't even know what I said.
You said already.
Whatever. How rude. I'm rambling, and you want to get to murder. My point is, you may have the numbers and the strength and the bloodlust and the inbreeding, but at the end of the day, we'll be here, and you'll be all sorts of broken and beaten. Roy laughs at this and says, and you're the guy who's going to do it? All of a sudden, with multiple Omega's heads exploding, with a red panel. Nah, I'm the guy who's going to talk long enough to distract your goofy... Nah, I'm the guy who's going to talk long enough to distract your goofy ass so my friends can do it. And everyone comes rushing in.
Do you feel defeated yet?
We got 3 sips. Fry is mentioned, the panel goes red. 1, 2, 3. And out of nowhere comes Doug, driving a military Humvee with Jack on top, saying maximum speed, onward Pegasus 3, while dual-wielding 2 guns.
Good for him. Also, by the way...
sip for Pegasus.
Doug, yes, sip for Pegasus. Although Doug kind of argues naming the tank Pegasus, the Humvee, whatever it is.
It's always Pegasus. Jack leaps down, throwing grenades, while Doug punts the saber away from Roy's fist.
Smart move.
While Westerberger is explaining the situation to Jack, he's about to be eaten by an Omega zombie. But out of nowhere comes Sui with the paddle of truth with a red panel beating in this zombie's head.
Yay, Sui!
Yelling, taste the pledge vengeance!
Yeah, he's got a lot of pent-up anger.
He might. Roy in rage yells, enough of this. I want Campbell. And Campbell, being the Bruce Campbell type that he is, just goes, join the club, baby. Join the club.
Good for him. Well, I mean, his zombie girlfriend is dead, so...
So many gay jokes in this book.
So many gay jokes. But that's okay.
Alright, 2 sips went red. Catch up.
What do you mean catch up?
I mean catch up.
I'm
not as deep as me. Jack takes aim at Roy. Shooting, Roy quickly dodges, and Westerberger is hit in the shoulder by a bullet.
Well, you know what? Could have ended up worse for Westerberger.
Exclaiming, ow! Are you shitting me? No, sir, we are not. Roy runs in, the house is ours, when all of a sudden, up comes Mosby.
Yay, Mosby! Zombie Mosby!
Yeah, he's back, baby.
It's a complete show now.
Sui and Doug are cutting off zombies' heads and paddling them with a paddle of truth, and makes it sound like it's going to be Highlander. Oh, this is going to be something. Zombie versus zombie, only one can survive, though technically neither has. As a battle royale of Roy and Mosby is about to begin.
Get it, Mosby. Save the day again.
And for this page, we have 2 sips for the term zombie versus zombie. Jack runs to Westerberger's side, trying to ease his pain, letting him know that the bullet passed through his shoulder. Whoever shot him missed anything, Major, with Westerberger jumping in. Whoever shot me? You shot me, asshole.
Well,
I just love Jack. He goes, sleep now, little one. If I could get you to the house, I could stitch you up.
Westerberger got shot. That's funny.
Jack turns around to see that Kristen has turned into a zombie, and in his quick moment of looking at his now-deceased girlfriend, he is bum-rushed by a bunch of zombies. It looks like it's curtain for Jax as all of the Omegas run around him, kicking him versus eating him, when all of a sudden a panel turns red and all of their heads disappear.
They're tenderizing their meat, much like you would a steak before you grill it.
I guess. I mean, more with a specific hammer and less kicking it.
Semantics.
While all their heads explode, Westerberger turns to find out that Aurora is dual-wielding shotguns, double-barrel shotguns.
Sawed-off double-barreled shotguns.
They're not sawed off.
They're not very long either.
No, they still have the scope on them.
Oh, I guess they're not sawed off. Okay.
They're just not long shotguns.
No, they're not.
She comes out and says, so, I was wrong, and I love you. And then the massacring begins.
Lay down the smack.
Sabers, paddles of truths, Jack with multiple guns, Aurora with multiple guns. Meanwhile, the zombie, Roy, and Mosby fight continues, all with Mosby's head being completely disintegrated by one of Roy's punches.
Well, it sucks to be Mosby, but
it turns out that Mosby was sacrificing himself all along as he pulled a grenade pin. With a grenade, I guess he left in, Roy's... No! Unbeknownst to Roy, the grenade is inside of his stomach. Mosby punched him so hard he penetrated his stomach and pulled the pin in there.
Good for Mosby.
Jack and Doug rush Roy going, hey Roy, good news. They kick him in through the house window. They go, the house, it's yours.
And then, kaplowy.
With the grenade-filled Roy inside the house explodes.
It's a hell of a grenade.
It's effective. And Westerberger's first reaction is, I think my keys were in there right before passing out.
Well, it sucks to have your keys in the house, but I'm sure that you could find them, or have another set of keys made up, for that matter.
So, for all those pages, for one page we have 3 sips for the use of the term zombie, reference to a frat. Next page, 2 sips for panel going red. The page after that, 3 sips for a mention of the house and the panel going red. And another sip for the house being mentioned as it's exploding. Bring us to a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more sips.
Oh.
We then cut to black as Westerberger is waking up. He finds Aurora standing over him.
Ooh, excuse me.
Gross.
Well, it wasn't meant to be ungross.
We cut to black with the word honey over the panel. Westerberger is waking up with Aurora standing over him. She mentions that Jack stitched him up and he's been out for a whole hour.
Been a long day. Needs a nap.
She mentions that all they could find was a pink thread making him look very butch, even though the coloring shows it as kind of white.
Listen, we're not going to argue it. We're going to accept it.
Jack and Aurora finally kiss as the surviving members are all trying to figure out what to do. Swee shows that over Mosby's computer he had contacted other Omega houses who apparently had also survived. Apparently the Omegas are a bunch of jerks and created a zombie bomb.
That sucks for them.
So while there are other survivors out there, we have one final chant of Omegas, as after over instant messenger they say, be strong, fellow, Omega, 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 giving us one last time to finish our drinks. We're not done yet, kids.
Here we go.
Last one.
I was going to point out another perfect pour.
Away with you, bottle opener. The next morning, I don't know where they stayed overnight considering the house was blown up.
Probably a car, the back of the tow truck,
Swee,
the Humvee.
Swee has been packing up a car, which they have spray painted on the side, Chickmobile, while Westerberger and Aurora make out.
Good for them.
They discuss potentially making Swee a full-fledged member of the fraternity, but Doug is against this, as after they get wherever they're going, they're going to need someone to unpack all of their crap for them.
You know what? That's called pre-planning.
Mention of the house. Westerberger asks Aurora if they should stop making out in front of the other house brothers, and she wants to continue this as she knows it annoys them. There's also a significant lack of females possibly still alive, as apparently Omega houses are the only thing still there. There were 24 chapters of the Omega House. Within America, they have 23 other potential houses to check. Jack, showing a strange moment of humanity, gets very somber, saying that no one else is gonna die.
Good for Jack.
Doug refers back to his father, going, Did you see what we Doug refers to his father, going, Did you see what we just went through? There was shit on our door, and we not only dealt with it, we exploded the goddamn door.
Yes, that's very true. Not only the door, but the house, the windows, the walls, the doors, the roof.
I defy the assholes of the world to do their worst. Each and every one of us step up our shit. Wait, I'm gonna start that again.
Yeah, get your shit together.
I defy the assholes of the world to do their worst. Each and every one, step up or shut the fuck up. We survived, we will survive. We are Beta, Eta, Delta. There has never been, and there never will be, anything that can handle.
We can't handle.
Fuck. We're Beta, Eta, Delta. There has never been, and there never will be, anything we can't handle. As they pull away from the exploded house with an unknown future, and one final sip for a mention of the house.
Oh,
We survived, did you?
oh, barely.
And so brings us to the conclusion of Everybody's Dead.
Oh, I'm
A
gonna
fun
feel.
little
feel
mini-series
dead
that
in the
came
morning.
out. You'll be fine.
I know I will be. No, that was fun. It was entertaining. It really felt a lot like, like a Shaun of the Dead.
It's very inspired by, like, over-the-top 80s horror.
Oh yeah, it's more comedic than like horror. It's not scary. It's not jumpy. It's just kind of there. I mean, it's your typical standard comedy zombie fare, and then you like throw in those classic tropes of a college fraternity, or just college in general, because there's kids in that fraternity that aren't like, they fit all the typical collegiate roles in that story.
I like this book quite a bit.
I'm very burpy gassy right now from all of the beer.
I can tell.
Sorry about
It's
that.
going to be hard to edit around.
It's not like I intended to get this way. You're like, oh, this would be a great podcast. We're going to do a drinking game, and we're going to, drink a lot of beer and chug, and it's like, I'm just
We
generally
sipped.
gassy.
We mostly sipped.
Carbonation still has its effect, whether you sip it or not.
It's a good time. I enjoyed this book. It'd be fun if there was more of this kind of stuff out there.
Drinking
Well,
game
no,
comics,
more
or
the specific book. The characters are fun. The premise is fun. The characters are dumb, but they're also all enjoyable. There's really no one that isn't fun to follow in this book. The art is very stylized, but it works very well for the book.
yes, published by IDW.
Yeah. It's been out of print for a number of years. Like I said, if you want to find it, you can on Amazon. Probably about the only place, unless you can find some, single issues and some old back issue bin.
Perhaps.
I know I've sold mine, my original single issues.
Yeah,
Yeah. Early into the store's run. I just had to sell all my stuff.
back in the day.
Wasn't like a couple of years ago, yeah.
Well, for the store, that's back in the day. That's half a lifetime ago for the store.
But that's Everybody's Dead. We survived the drinking game. We hope you did too. We don't have anything else planned like this ever again.
Not in the near future. This is probably way more fun than the Nostradamus edition of the show.
But yeah, I guess that'll do it for this week. If you want to find the show, go over to editorsnotecomics.com on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you want to get the show a day early, you can go to patreon.com/editorsnotecomics. $1 a month will get you this show one day early every single week. And my other show, the Buffy Back Issue, been a whole week early because I record that further in advance.
Yes.
And you're on Twitter.
At Junior Rich. Any sales or anything? Any spooky dooky Halloween things coming up?
I guess. I mean, there's the Halloween Fest or Oktoberfest or whatever the hell they call
The
it.
Rocktoberfest?
It's on Saturday the 28th. They'll be giving away a bunch of books. It's,
Oh, October? Is it like a beer festival in Hollowell?
No, it's just the national day that I'm allowed to give out the comics that I already paid for in my store.
Oh, okay.
I guess I could just give them away. I don't care. I'm not going to. I'll wait for the day.
Okay.
But damn it, I paid for them.
Yes. Don't wait till then to go to the store, though.
Yeah, but that's the thing. On the 28th, I'll be giving away a bunch of free Halloween-related books.
Any shows in your future that you're going to go to? Cons?
Yeah, what am I doing? 2 in October? Probably. Yeah, sounds right.
All right. There it is.
When am I doing those? I don't remember. Sometime.
Yes. All right.
We'll be back next week
Yes, we will.
for more spooky adventures.
Ooh. Stephen King.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I like it.
All right, we'll be back.